Hey guys, it's Joe with BitRage. So I found this article today and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to share it with you because it raises a valid question. So this guy here, he's an economist, a professor I believe, and he said this. Tether, or USDT, is used to manipulate Bitcoin prices. Without this scam, Bitcoin price would collapse by 80%. Regulators asleep at the wheel, while $2 billion of fake currency created via this scam, half of it since December. Not even North Korea created so many fake dollars backed by nothing. Now, I don't agree with the conclusions that this guy makes on everything. He is bearish on essentially the entire cryptocurrency market. He thinks that all of it has no value. I don't agree with that, but he makes a valid point on Tether. Is Tether what we think it is? So Tether is effectively supposed to be this cryptocurrency that is tied to the dollar. So if USD is influenced by inflation, Tether would be influenced by inflation as well. So effectively, this goes against the inherent value of cryptocurrency. So the value of Bitcoin, say for example, is that there is a limited supply and it's a secure asset, it's a secure store of value that cannot be manipulated or influenced by the dollar. And the limited supply creates supply and demand. That is a couple of the reasons why Bitcoin is valuable. Tether is not influenced by limited supply. They can effectively print as much as they want. There is no limit, it's unlimited. But it's transparent, right? They're supposed to back every Tether with 1 USD, and they claim to have the reserve holdings to back this up. They say this, our reserve holdings are published daily and subsequent and subject to frequent professional audits. So they're audited, right? So it sounds great. They're transparent, they list what they have, they're audited. Well, were they audited? They say this, the results of our audits were for the benefit of shareholders and were not in the form suitable for public consumption. To begin with, they were in Mandarin. They say they can't show you the audit because it's in Mandarin. Well, I'm pretty sure you can translate Mandarin to English. I'm pretty sure that's possible. You can find somebody that knows Mandarin and then translate that to English. I think they could figure this out. But it's a little fishy that they won't release their audits. Do you want to put your money into something where they're this protective of an audit? Are they hiding something? That's the question you have to ask. So this is their legal page. They say this, Tether tokens are backed by money, but they are not money themselves, and that's important. USDT is not money, it's barely cryptocurrency. So they say this going on. The right to have Tethers redeemed or issued to you is a contractual right. Tether must, and does at all times, reserve the right to refuse to issue or redeem Tether tokens. Think about that. Tether reserves the right to refuse to issue or redeem Tether tokens. So you're holding Tether and you want to exchange that for USD, well, good luck, you can't. And then they say without limiting the generality of the foregoing. So what does that mean? Let's say we're going on a trip and I say we can go on this trip, but absolutely there will be no pets. Okay? But then you bring your goldfish because you didn't think that applied. Well, if I said we're going on this trip and absolutely there can be no pets, without limiting the generality of the foregoing, no goldfish either. So effectively what that means is Tether reserves the right to refuse to issue or redeem Tether tokens in this case, but in also these cases as well. So that should make you question. If you're holding USDT, you should be able to exchange that for the US dollar at any time if the reserves are really there to back it up. So this is the CoinMarketCap page for Tether, and I want to show you something. Back in January 26, 2017, there were $14,951,700 in Tether. Or not dollars, but tokens in supply. So 14,951 tokens in supply. In exactly 1 year, we went from 14 million to 1.6 billion. Think about that. 14 million to 1.6 billion. the beginning of December, we had 769 million. At the end of January here, current time, 1.6 billion. So in the last 2 months, we've added double. We've doubled current supply. There is this nifty guy here that has a Twitter account, and he goes and he checks when new Tether is printed. And they're printing about 100 million a day. We go down through here, January 18th, 100 million, January 17th, 100 million, January 16th, 100 million. Now, they claim to have the reserve to back up every Tether in circulation. But think about this. If they're printing 100 million Tether a day, how long is it going to take, even if the reserve is huge and massive, how long is it going to take until they run out of funds? And who's to say that they even have enough in reserve to back what they currently have? They would have to have 1.65 billion in reserve. Now, it's possible, but if they had that, why don't they release their audits? Why don't they release their balance sheets? Why don't they release this information to the public so that we can see? And even if they do have, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they have 1.65 billion in the reserves. Well, they're still printing 100 million a day. So how long is it going to take until they pass the reserves? Not very long. Not very long at all. There is also the issue with BitFinex and Tether being connected. There are several people saying that they're connected and they're doing business with each other. There's some people saying that they're owned by the same people, they're run by the same people, or at least controlled by the same people. And there is some sort of information to back that claim up. So between July 2017 and August 2017, supply of Tethers increased by 100 million. We increase by 100 million every day now. So think about that. In 2 months, we increased by 100 million. Now we're increasing by 100 million every day. That's not sustainable at all. The chief financial officer of BitFinex and shareholder of Tether said this: "We're not criminals, but now we have to learn to bank like criminals in response to the issues that Tether has with banking." So, do you want to do business with somebody, with a company, that says they're going to bank like criminals? I don't think so. So, BitConnect went down as a big exit scam. Is Tether the next scam to fall? Well, you have to decide that for yourself. Tether is not the same as BitConnect at all. It is definitely not the same. It is not the same principle. It's not the same system. But is it a scam? Think about it. Do they have the reserves to back it up? Maybe. They don't tell you what they have. They won't release the audits. They won't release their balance sheets. And the balance sheets they do release are fishy. They don't add up. So, are they a scam? That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. So, BitFinex had this scam here. So 31 million was stolen by hackers in Tether. And the fishy thing about this whole thing is that there was some articles going around that this guy was the CEO of both BitFinex and Tether. The day after that news appeared online, Tether apparently lost 31 million funds from its treasury. The attack occurred on November 19th. We can verify that with Wayback Machine. This is November 19th. 30 million in negative balance. On the 30th, we're back up 333,000. So there are some fishy things, and it is backed up. It's validated by some statements and some documents. There's a document from a lawsuit filed by Wells Fargo in 2017 where this guy claims to be the CEO of both BitFinex and Tether. Now, if he is, and they are controlling both, what they could essentially do is use Tether to bring into BitFinex and artificially inflate the market. So that is fishy. It's something you have to think about. Be aware of, at least. So again, is this kind of like the whole Mt. Gox thing? Is this going to be the next scam that you have to look out for? Well, my question is, why would you want to hold your money in Tether? Is there any relevant and interesting reason to hold money in Tether? I don't think so. You want to go to USD, cash out, get USD, makes more sense. It is secure, at least. If USD dies, the society is over as we know it. If Tether dies, it doesn't mean that much. It could potentially influence the market by quite a bit if Tether goes under or is in some way exits or whatever. It could influence the market by quite a bit. But again, it's not life-changing or anything like that. So there is supposedly this shareholder report that was leaked, and supposedly it says this. Because BitFinex and Tether have common principles and banking, there is no limit to the timing or amount of money that can flow between the two entities, even if inbound and outbound customer wires are limited. BitFinex holds the vast majority of its customer USD balances in the form of USD bank balances. BitFinex typically only holds less than 20 million Tethers for customer withdrawal. When that balance approaches zero, BitFinex moves money, typically 20 million, from the BitFinex bank account to the Tether bank account at the same bank in order to purchase additional Tether from Tether Limited. To be clear, when this happens, cash is credited or removed from BitFinex's balance sheet and debited or added to Tether's bank account. This can be done electronically day or night, or on weekends, on holidays, etc. So in this report, they claim that users are requesting Tether, which then BitFinex goes and purchases when they run dry. So as the article says, we'll accept this claim at face value, and we'll say, well, that's completely on the level, that's legit. Well, here's what they're doing though. BitFinex is converting US dollars, which is money, into Tether, which is not money. And as the article says here, I doubt that BitFinex is informing people that their Tether withdrawals or purchases convert their real money into Tethers, which are objectively and legally worthless. So there are a lot of different articles like this that talk about why BitFinex and Tether's connection is suspicious, why the bank accounts are so similar and they're connected, and why it's suspicious. One thing I want you to note from all this is that when you go to BitFinex, you can exchange your US dollar for Tether, but you cannot exchange your Tether for US dollar. And this is true for all exchanges that hold USD Tether, to my knowledge. You can exchange it for Tether, but you cannot exchange Tether for the US dollar, which makes no sense if it's supposed to be a 1-to-1 where the US dollar and Tether are tied. Makes no sense. So there's a lot of fishy things going on with Tether. I'm going to leave you with this page on Tether's website. Update on security incident, where they updated you on what happened to $30 million. They say an external hacker took it, but then at the bottom of the page they say this. Tethers are being printed or issued because there is demand for them. This process is explained in the Tether white paper. When Tethers are issued, assets are debited, added to the assets on Tether's balance sheet, and Tethers are credited, added to the business's liability. The consulting memorandum demonstrates that these mechanisms are in balance. Every Tether is fully backed by the fiat underpinning it upon issuance. So Tethers are being printed or issued on demand. No limit, no holding back. When it's needed, they print more. Can there be this much money in reserve to account for 100 million in printed Tether a day? That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. My question to you is, why would you even use Tether? There is no reason to use it. If you want to cash out in USD. If you want to stay in cryptocurrency, stay in cryptocurrency. Hold your Bitcoin, hold Litecoin, hold your altcoins. Why would you even use Tether? It's effectively worthless, backed by essentially nothing. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for this video. I thought this was really interesting. I want to bring it to you and kind of shed some light on what Tether is and why you may not want to use it. If you disagree with me and you think that I'm spreading FUD, definitely leave a comment and tell me why. I love facts, and if you have some facts to back it up, you can tell me why they are holding as much as they say they're holding. Give me some proof. I would be happy to see that. But if you like the video, definitely give it a like. If you aren't subscribed already, definitely go ahead and do that. We got a ton more planned for you guys. We appreciate you watching. Take care.